Hello, what culture, my friends, my pals, my buddies. My name is Simon Miller, and I am indeed about to take you through last night's episode of Monday Night Raw, a lovely little TV show produced by a company known as WWE. Because after it's over, after it's done, after it's finished, there's only one question we need to ask, and that is, does it get an up or does it get a down? There may be two questions. Does it get an up? Question mark. Or does it get a down? Question mark. Or you can go, does it get an up or a down? Question mark. Something to think about as we do indeed turn our attentions to everything that happened around about 24 hours ago. And there's some good bits this time. There's some good bits, but obviously there's some bad bits too. That's why the show is called Ups and Downs. But I watch wrestling, so you don't have to. Let's up those downs. Dean Ambrose started Raw this week, and I like to think all the wrestlers backstage just pull at some straws, and whoever gets the shortest one, someone says, right, you're the dude that gets to go out to begin this episode of Raw, because it starts the same every single week, but it's getting enough. We do really need some new interviewers, because Charlie Caruso, whatever her name is here, asked Dean Ambrose more stupid questions than sports pundits, but it all made sense. She wanted to know if Dean Ambrose was actually going to turn his back on the Shield, or if all of that is in the past, and we can just look forward and move on. Ambrose was more than a little upset, however, especially because he'd been replaced by Jason Jordan last year so quickly, and maybe he's even considered about walking away from Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. In fact, as he said, maybe before the show started, he went and basically killed Roman Reigns by running his car off the road. And when he said that, everybody cheered. Everybody cheered the thought of Roman Reigns dying. Let's kill the big dog. Groundhog Day then arrived as Baron Corbin came out, but this time he had a little quiz, a little game show, a little tete-a-tete to play with Dean Ambrose, and he gave him three choices. 1, he can take on Seth Rollins for the IC Championship. 2, he can take on Roman Reigns, who now isn't dead, for the Universal Championship. Or he can take on Braun Strowman one-on-one. Now really, Ambrose should have picked Roman. I don't care who you are or how your allegiances lay. If somebody offers you a Universal Championship match, which is the biggest prize on Monday Night Raw, you pick that, because if you don't, you pull down your pants and you all over the titles. That's what you did here, Dean Ambrose, because he didn't pick that. He instead said he wanted secret option number 4, which is not an option. Can't break the game, Dean. In fact, he just wanted to face Baron Corbin. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to face Baron Corbin. That didn't work. So Corbin went, no, I'm the constable, jackass, so I'm going to pick for you. And then Braun Strowman came out. And that was all right too, or at least told a good story. Gets it up. It basically saw the lunatic fringe get his ass whipped. So for some reason, Roman decided, well, I'm not enjoying this. So he swandered down to the ring and he caused the DQ. What is wrong with you, Roman? That's supposed to be your friend, and here you are acting like an idiot. Because yeah, if we do take a step back and think about this, Reigns is being an absolute prick. It's not like Dean was in serious trouble, it was just a match. And yeah, Braun Strowman had the upper hand, but that's just wrestling. And Roman Reigns went, oh no, I don't think my friend can handle it, so I'm gonna go down there and get involved. Not cool, big dog. Not cool at all. Seth came down during all of this as well, and backstage, understandably, Dean Ambrose was really pissed off, and he told Rollins as such, and even said, look, if I wanted, I could take your Intercontinental Championship. So we're planting more of these seeds, and I do enjoy this angle as we continue to tease what Dean Ambrose may do. And if they do pull the trigger, well done WWE, you've done it again. I'm going to support Dean Ambrose, because I believe everything he said here, I would act exactly the same. So if you go the heel route, you're going to lose again. We also find out that we're going to get Roman Reigns versus Dolph Ziggler, and that's going to happen right now. Ow. The match was solid, but it was filled with so much nonsense, I felt like I should just keep face-palming myself over and over again because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. For starters, although it seemed like it was going to be for the Universal title, the constable came out and told us, no, Roman, you don't get to call the shots. I call the shots, therefore, this isn't going to be a title match. Are you kidding me? You hate Roman, Baron. You should want him to lose the belt, especially because his opponent is your friend Dolph Ziggler, who you've been buddying up to over the last few weeks. And then Reigns just beat Ziggler after a spear, because of course he did, and great, whoop-de-doo. But how does that help anyone? And specifically, how did that help Dolph Ziggler? The finish was well executed, but Dolph has lost so many times in the past that now, when he's got some momentum, he is the World Wrestling Entertainment Tag Team Champion, we shouldn't just be throwing him to the dogs. And the downs keep on falling because then we got a Riott Squad selfie promo. And again, what the hell was this about? I felt like I was going crazy. I felt like I popped open pills, looked at the label and gone, oh no, they're crazy pills and I've just taken them down. Now I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure they said they find beauty in broken windows or broken glass or something like that, and in hearing people scream. What are you, 12? Going through your emo phase? Please just let these people talk normally, WWE. They sound stupid like this. Imagine you bumped into someone and they went to you, I find beauty in glass. You would turn around and you'd walk away and you'd make a mental note never to talk to that person again, and you would be 100% correct. That is just, it just doesn't make any sense. The match featuring Ruby Riott and Ronda Rousey was fine though, although it was kind of just there, which is a little bit worrying considering we're talking about Ronda Rousey, but whatever, get to know. Liv Morgan was at ringside, but she didn't get involved, and nobody mentioned anything that had happened 7 days ago. And yeah, Bellas were in Rousey's corner, and Sarah Logan was the other one too. And Rousey sold for a while, but eventually she locked in the armbar, and Ruby Riott tapped out. It was a bit like every Ronda Rousey match we've seen, which again, just a teeny bit worrying. And on that note, I do think we either start using Ronda a little bit more sparingly to keep that star power alive, or we don't just book her in matches where she sells, win from nowhere. Next one, sell, win from nowhere. She's not running the shop. It just feels too by the numbers. And again, if we're dealing with someone like Ronda Rousey, who has genuine star power, don't make her fall into the numbers. Keep her special, keep her smelling nice. That's what it's all about. Wonderful smells. Moving on, I do think WWE did a better job with everything between Chad Gable and Bobby Roode in the Ascension this week. However, this is the 5th straight Raw I've had to watch some kind of combo of this, therefore it's getting a down. Essentially, Roode lost to Connor after he got distracted by Chad Gable, who was on the apron going, glorious, glorious, and then the other one attacked him, I can't remember his name, Victor. Victor attacked him, Bobby Roode was like, oh, what's going on over here? Forget the fact I'm in a match, I don't care about that. And then Connor hit a really kind of poor looking dominator for the win. That's a plus because now Roode does have some genuine beef to launch at Chad Gable. And yes, I just said Bobby Roode is going to launch his beef at Chad Gable. But when he does turn heel, or at least when I hope he turns heel, he can say, you screwed up my match, plus throughout our mini run together, you were really annoying, so now I'm going to beat you up as a bad guy. The problem is I don't believe that WWE is all of a sudden going to start pushing the Ascension, so I'm just witnessing two dudes that I've been told are useless beating up Chad Gable and beating up Bobby Roode. And what am I meant to think of that as a fan? What does that do to my impressions of Bobby Roode and Chad Gable? It just puts him in the toilet. That toilet is back out again, the Raw toilet. Roll it out, throw these two people in there and flush the chain. We also didn't really give Gable and Roode any kind of momentum before we threw them into the wall. Long-term storytelling, my friends. Dead. I did like the Alexa Bliss segment though, as we now build to our 3rd pay-per-view in as many weeks, and that would be Evolution. Again, though. It was just Bliss telling a story about that time that she met her hero Trish Stratus, but got disappointed because Trish just burped in her face, asked for $50, and then ripped up Alexa's autograph book. And I don't think this was true, but it worked, and Alexa was great here. That's why I got the up. Back to the downs though, as the B team beat the Revival, despite the latter reminding us all how good they were last week. Makes sense to me. Down. It was really a nothing match until Bo Dallas rolled up Dash Wilder for the win. I don't know why we're doing this, because right now Raw needs good tag teams, but instead we're going to go in this direction where we take good tag teams, bring it back, bring back the Raw toilet, flush them down. In fact, make a flush sound effect. Every time I say flush it down, I want to hear a sound effect. Do it now, flush it down. There it is, the Raw toilet. Maybe that will become a staple of ups and downs, which is kind of bad, because now all my negative stuff is related to the crapper, but what can I do? That's just where we are now. Can't turn the clock back. Got to keep moving forward. The AOP did then decimate the B team after this, and that was cool, because it's classic wrestling evolution. The AOP are done with the nameless jobbers we don't know. We now need some established names, what kind of jobbers, and that is Curtis Axel, and that is Bo Dallas. They got eaten alive and will likely lose to Drake Maverick's team on next week's edition of Raw, but that's alright. Then we can keep pushing them to the tag team titles. That's something I want to see. Ambrose then clashed with Reigns backstage, and I don't know if this is what I was meant to take away from this scenario, but Roman, I'm 100% with Dean. Up. Now, I don't think that was the plan, but Reigns was all like, oh, I'm the daddy of the Shield, I'm the big boy Barry lad, and Dean, I just don't think you can handle yourself out there, so I had to come and be your boy. And Ambrose was like, "Shut up, Roman, I could have done it, you got in my face." He didn't do that. He did say if he wasn't such a nice guy, he could take that Universal Championship, and I hope he does. I hope Dean shows them all that he was let down by his so-called brothers, and now he's getting his revenge. So it has brought us full circle. I now hate Seth Rollins, and I hate Roman Reigns because I don't appreciate their way they're treating their mate. Maybe that is the intent, but I very much doubt it. It's as if they see Ambrose as a little child who's just looking for his mummy. For some reason, Baron Corbin then told the AOP he's impressed with them and they should keep doing what they've been doing. And it was all right, but I then realized I've seen Baron Corbin on this episode of Raw around about 92,734 times. That was too much. More teasing of breakups after this, although this time we were focused on Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre. Ziggler was being all loud and annoying, thinking that Dean Ambrose was about to turn, before Braun Strowman said, well, that would be great, because we don't need losers in our team. And then he looked at Dolph, because, you know, he'd lost to Roman Reigns earlier in the night. And then you cut to Drew McIntyre, who was also looking at Ziggler like, yeah, man, you're a piece of trash. I'm a big fan of all this too because both these teams are feuding with each other. So now we've got an asterisk over Dean Ambrose's head, and we also have an asterisk over Dolph Ziggler's head. Maybe something will happen at WWE Super Showdown on Saturday, and you can check my predictions out for those on WhatCulture Wrestling very soon. Or maybe it doesn't, and we continue to tease. But I like being teased, because everybody likes to be teased. And an up for the breast cancer awareness segment, because of course, this stuff is really important. Up. And another up as we segued into McIntyre versus Seth Rollins in a non-title match. Up. It was really good with some decent action before, once again, it did suffer from interference. And I've got no problem with that, but on this particular episode of Raw, my word, did that happen a lot. It almost felt like the Attitude Era, and not the good kind of Attitude Era. Ziggler did arrive on his scene, and his music played. Why would he get the sound guy to play his music? If you're trying to do a sneak attack or get involved, you wouldn't get a big horn and go, here I come, here comes Dolph. It's stupid. But it did provide enough time for McIntyre to smash Rollins' face with the Claymore kick. 1, 2, 3. Maybe, just maybe, he's now the #1 contender for the IC Championship. Everyone then arrived on this scene, but it was Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre that managed to stand tall over their fallen foes. They all beat them up for a while, which probably means they're going to lose at Super Showdown on Saturday. And again, once again, keep an eye out for those predictions here on WhatCulture Wrestling. That is the second cheap plug of this video, and I did the Night Owl thing. He does that, Night Owl does that, he goes, cool. Which brings us to Elias and Kevin Owens, and my word, I don't know who decided to put these two together, but again, thank you so much for doing it. I didn't know I need them in my life, but I absolutely do. So not only do they get an up, they get a golden up. Began backstage with Elias getting mad at a stagehand because he'd only gone and got him cashews when he wanted almonds, before Owens and the former Drifter made their way to the ring and got more heat than anybody has in a damn long time. There was some good lines beforehand, but when Elias did say that Cena and Lashley teaming up made about as much sense as Seattle having a basketball team, I tell ya, that incensed the crowd something fierce, and they booed loudly for around about 7 minutes straight. It was wonderful, and they made so much noise that Kevin Owens pretty much had to shout what he had to say after this, and what he did have to say was that John Cena ruins everything, much like Seattle, which is probably why their basketball team left, and everyone went nuts again. We need more stuff like this, and WWE absolutely has to start figuring out how to get better reactions, because as soon as we do get better reactions, these kind of segments get about 10 times more fun than they would be otherwise. And that goes for the whole show. Do what you have to do, WWE, to make fans react like this. That's your job. Eventually, Leah Rush arrived to say that it is going to be Bobby Lashley versus Kevin Owens, but who cares? This was absolutely excellent. Make sure you go and see it. And I will give it an up, mostly because I was still buzzing from the segment before, even though it was your standard Raw match, but yeah, who cares up. There was yet another distraction finish, which was borderline bonkers, and I'm sure you can figure out what happened. Outside the ring, Leah Rush and Elias, they were scuffling. That distracted Bobby Lashley. He got rolled up. 1, 2, 3. Kevin Owens wins. The heels did get the upper hand by beating them up before all was said and done, and then they hugged. And I would have given them a hug too. Talking of hugs, Bayley then beat Alicia Fox as she had Finn Balor in her corner, and Jinder Mahal was in Alicia Fox's corner. Bayley hit her move known as the Bayley to belly to win. This is getting it down. This felt so unimportant, I started thinking about monkeys doing press-ups, and in fact, because of that fact, not only did it get that down, it's gonna get the brown down. Look at that color. All brown, downy. Our main event was filled with nostalgia and clouds though, so naturally, getting up. It was all a big build to Triple H versus Undertaker at WWE Super Showdown, which goes down on Saturday, and Shawn Michaels kept it simple. He said he was going to go out to Australia anyway because he wanted to watch as a fan, but then that darn Undertaker went and made it personal. HBK was also very clear to underline the fact that while this is the last time you'll see Triple H taking on The Undertaker, it's only the last time in a one-on-one contest because, yeah, it seems very likely we're getting DX versus the Brothers of Destruction at WWE Crown Jewel. He told Kane not to interfere at the pay-per-view, which was clearly the magic word for Kane, because then pop, he appeared from nowhere, he punched Shawn Michaels in the face, and then The Undertaker turned up too. They were about to lay waste to Shawn until Triple H arrived on the scene, but unfortunately for these two, they were running into danger and they both got double chokeslammed, and Triple H also got a tombstone by The Undertaker, and I'll say this. One, the crowd loved it because of course they did. It's all the stars they remember the past and everybody always loves that. And two, it was just a really good classic build to get you hyped up for a match that's happening in around about 5 days. It was one of the best endings to Raw for a while, and again, you should go and watch it, especially if you're an old school wrestling fan. You're just gonna love it, because you know you will. When Stars from the Past comes back, we all enjoy it more, because that's just the landscape we're living in. Michaels has also shaved his head bald, which would usually prompt me to say, welcome to the club, my friend. However, as Shawn Michaels blocked me on Twitter, and I have absolutely no idea why, he doesn't get invited into the club, which I'm sure will devastate him to the core. You always reap what you sow, my friend. You always reap what you sow. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about last night's Raw. Like, share, and subscribe. Head over to WhatCulture.com and read yourself some articles. Follow WhatCulture on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE. My name is Simon from WhatCulture. Thank you very much for watching, and always make sure you come back in around about 1 day's time when we up those smack downs. That was my little, wasn't that a cool little phrase dance?